Ferrari is set to bring massive upgrades to their car following their dominant 1-2 result at the Australian Grand Prix. Claiming 3 podium finishes and a spectacular race win at Albert Park, the Prancing Horses have proved their competitive state. But their ultimate goal is to be championship contenders, and that seems to be highly possible as the team are fast-tracking important upgrades to Japan. With this in mind, what are the upgrades that Ferrari are bringing to Japan and then to Imola? Well, stick around to find out. Ferrari started the 2024 season according to their plan, being the second fastest team while understanding what their car's new concept has in store for them. The team has gotten on top of some old deficiencies from the SF-23, and the team is now focused on introducing upgrades to the SF-24 with the hopes of gaining a significant leap in performance. This now could be done in an easier manner compared to previous years, considering that the SF-24 does not restrict the Italian engineers anymore in terms of gearbox or chassis design. The basic aerodynamic concept of the SF-24 raced in the first 3 races has provided Ferrari with the required data and understanding of the benefits of their planned upgrades for the car during the winter period. And now the team feels it's the perfect time to build on the foundation the SF-24 has provided. According to Formula Uno, the Maranello team is going to update a lot of its current car to be competitive when compared to the RB20. Talking about this in further detail, the report wrote, Ferrari started with a conventional SF-24 to check that they understood the full downwash concept well, but in the tunnel, there is a more extreme version. Fewer upgrades are coming towards Suzuka. Then an updated aero look towards Imola, which should bring a lot of surprises to the grid. Japan and Imola are 2 races that all Ferrari fans must watch carefully, because the Maranello team will be working on a new side pod design as well as a new underfloor for the car. If you recall properly, the team was unable to bring these sorts of upgrades back in 2023, considering the restraints of the SF-23 had surrounding its mechanical architecture. But with the SF-24, those limitations have been resolved, and Ferrari are confident that the newfound solid foundation within the SF-24 is more than enough to be developed into a Red Bull competitor. Ferrari introduced its first upgrades at Melbourne in the form of an aerodynamic vane around the car's rear end, marking the beginning of a long development journey which is starting to intensify. For Japan, the team will introduce certain aero bits surrounding the car's floor edge, working on improving the steel around the floor better to introduce upgrades that pushes the amount of downforce the car's underfloor is able to produce. Following that, huge improvements to the SF-24's concept will be made. As of now, it's all good news coming from Ferrari Garage regarding the car's cooling performance, as the next batch of upgrades will be around this aspect. Ferrari, in the first 3 races, have not reported any ill effects around the engine's cooling ability, unlike Mercedes, who have had cooling and reliability issues in 2 of the last 3 races. Ferrari, with this advantage, are planning on adopting an aggressive aerodynamic package in terms of cooling for the SF-24 with its upgrades, as in the following races the team will introduce narrower radiator openings, following a path led by Red Bull back in Hungary last season. Ferrari will make this updates to the SF-24 in order to increase the undercut region of the side pods, to influence airflow around this region to unlock significant aerodynamic performance. With expected temperatures to be in the cooler side in Japan and the following races, cooling of the engines won't serve huge importance, providing Ferrari with the freedom to play in that area. Thanks to the current evolutions of the car's cooling package, the team has been able to obtain a different distribution of aerodynamic load, which has driven the team in a path to improve the car's underfloor subsequently. The Maranello team will introduce a new floor with a complex concept applied on it. Reports have it, Ferrari believe the rear end of the car is where most improvements can be found, and to unlock that potential, the team is going to add kicks in its underfloor to significantly improve the load generated around the car's rear, alongside the adoption of minor volumetric changes around the floor's rear, to better place the car's centre of aerodynamic pressure, improving overall balance. According to Formula Uno, one of the first developments that the SF-24 will acquire is the inclusion of this aggressive radiator inlets, coupled with a matching underfloor geometry. This could be done thanks to the redesigning the Italian team has done to the car's fundamental architecture, the chassis design. Engineers back at Maranello were able to grasp key data points about the car's fundamentals early on, including cooling capacity, which gave the team the license to go aggressive in terms of cooling solutions, pushing the car to its aerodynamic limits in the wind tunnel. If we are to believe the statements coming from Ferrari as well as media outlets close to the Italian team, we should be able to see a competitive SF-24 after Imola, one that could threat the dominance of the RB20. providing us with some entertaining races in 2024. The most important thing to understand here is that Ferrari have established a solid foundation to build on within the SF-24, and has opened an array of possibilities for Ferrari to pursue developments on that they believe could bring lots of performance to the table, in theory. But the more important question to answer is, are these developments enough in reality to improve the Ferrari car to a state where challenging Red Bull frequently becomes possible? Ferrari's game plan in 2024 is simple. Find clear weaknesses within the SF-24, trace the weakness to its source, and then fix it through understanding. This is what they have done exactly, Bahrain being a prime example. Both Leclerc and Sainz had brake problems through that race, which prevented both drivers from pushing that car to its limits. The race at Saudi is another where the team believes it did not extract the car's maximum due to the SF-24's basic design, but that is set to change at Japan and Imola, where upgrades taking the car's basic concept to the next level will unlock substantial performance. When talking about this matter, team boss Fred Vasseur went on to say, "We already have some new parts. In fact, there is already an Evo version of the SF-24 in the wind tunnel, more advanced than the current 1.0 version's concept." The SF-24's strong foundation has given Ferrari the opportunity to optimize the car's working condition with a higher load, and the new side pods and new floor upgrades are set to be next evolutionary steps that will take Ferrari hopefully that much closer to Red Bull in terms of competitiveness. We cannot forget the fact that Red Bull are also bringing upgrades to Japan and Imola, and with the Austrian team being most successful in recent times when it comes to car development, we should expect Red Bull to also take a step forwards. But considering the fact that they are now trying to chase a design dubbed as a failure by Mercedes, raises our hopes of witnessing a mistake from Red Bull, and a competitive step from Ferrari. Vasseur in a recent interview talked about how his team is approaching developments, giving us some hope that we can see close competition before the 2026 regulations overhaul. Adding more detail onto this matter, Vasseur explained, "It's never easy to have a clear picture of the race performance because you don't know when the guys are pushing. But if you compare with 1 year ago, plus or minus 2/10, we were 1.1 seconds behind Red Bull, and now it's 4, 5 or 6/10. So we've halved the gap. The performance is coming from everywhere, and it's never that you have one bullet that can bring 5/10 to the car. We must improve in every single area. It was the approach last year, and at the end, it did well, as we made a decent step. But in every single area, we have to continue to push. And for sure, the aero is always the key. We have upgrades in the pipeline, but I'm sure that so does everybody else. And the most important thing is not to bring upgrades, but to bring upgrades that you can operate on the car. It is where last year we did a good job. Considering how strong the SF-24 is currently, what do you guys think? Can Ferrari, with its next huge upgrade package, bring the SF-24 closer to the RB20 to fight for race wins? We are very much into your thoughts and perspectives in the comments section down below. And on your way down, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified of our future uploads to keep yourselves up to date about the 2024 Formula 1 season.